Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly Tall Talk. My name is Cale, and we have a very special episode for you today. If you're new to the show, every week we set up a topic with a short story or a would you rather question. And today we have a really special story intro for you. But before we get into that, I'm going to hear from my two other cohorts, partners in crime, the deputies.
Hell yeah.
We've been federalized.
We're done. Now we're marshals. But you know them as Corey and Xavier, and that's also how I know them.
Oh, thank God.
So Xavier, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Cale. Thank you for that introduction. I'm a deputy now.
We can do whatever we want.
Yeah. I'm doing good, dude. Another wonderful time recording. Got a great episode, I'm sure, ahead of us. I can't wait to hear what
It's a lot of pressure now. Thank you.
Boy. Well, I can't wait.
Oh, we have
to
a
hear
great
it.
episode. Oh, okay.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah. Well, I'm passing it over to Corey, my bud. What's going on? How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. It's another beautiful night in Portland. The sun is out, and we're in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
That is the best day in Portland.
Portland, Los Angeles?
Yes,
Is
exactly.
that a new
Portland,
city?
Maine.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
Maine,
yeah.
actually. We've
That one
moved.
exists.
That one
This is our
exists, yeah.
satellite office.
Yeah,
came
no,
up
I'm
with
doing
that?
great. Which one? Portland?
Portland,
Probably
Maine.
Portland, Maine first.
Oh.
And then
And then
Portland's just like,
Ben-
we like that.
We're going to put
We
two.
have ports, but
It
they don't really.
That's like Hollywood, Texas.
That's true.
Yeah.
Is there a Hollywood, Texas?
Yeah.
What the?
I'm sure there's like Hollywoods everywhere.
I think so. I think
like,
there's
no
quite a
reason.
few Hollywoods.
Probably.
There's like a Paris, Texas, too.
Right.
Who's coming up with these names?
I don't know, but I'm doing great, and I'm excited for another episode. Thank you for that introduction. I'm
Hell
glad we
yeah.
talked about the states and where we are not, but we are here in the studio today,
Heck yeah.
tonight. Cale, what do we have on the docket?
Well, guys, we're going to dive into this episode. This story is going to be a series of diary entries following a timeline in which we get into some chaotic scenarios,
Nice.
per usual.
Yeah,
So
we've not done that before, so that should be pretty fun.
Yeah.
we found the diary, and we're going to read it and share it with the world because that's what you do with people's privacy.
Of course.
Whose diary is it? Do we know?
Just John Doe.
It's mine.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Is your diary?
Yeah.
No, it's the inner thoughts. It's bad. It's very bad.
Oh, okay. The secret thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we're gonna
stuff that
get
I don't say to you, and I say a lot. So we know we're in bad territory now. Off the grid. All right, without any further ado, let's get into this. October 15th, 2023. Me and the boys finally met online super sensation Big Guy Corey and recorded our 50th episode. It was beyond superb. We couldn't believe how nice he was in person. Such a treat. He's literally someone who easily reinforces the stereotype of Canadian niceness. We all agreed that we should go visit him after we were done recording for the year. We're going to make the trip happen soon. Right now, the plans are to take connecting flights and buses from Southern California to the city of New Hope, Alaska, a town in one of the most western parts of the US. Then, we'll travel east and through the northern mountain ranges of Canada. Us and a few others have chartered a private train all the way from Little Gold, Yukon, across the Northern Territories and Manitoba till we reach the Hudson Bay. Then me and the boys will connect on a second train southeast across Ontario and Quebec until we arrive in Shediac, New Brunswick, where Big Guy Corey is going to be picking us up. We can't wait to see the world's biggest lobster statue in person. January 6, 2024. We all got together tonight at Korean Barbecue to celebrate the anniversary. Tomorrow we start the 48-hour ride to New Hope. I don't really know what to pack. I have some long underwear and a couple long sleeves, but the train is insulated, so that might be overkill. I take my subcompact, but unfortunately Canada isn't a free country. I'll just have to bring my fixed blade and hope for the best. January 7th, 2024. They took my knife. Fuck you, Canada.
You fucking suck!
January 9th, 2024. It's cold. Beautiful, but cold. Cali gets cold, but not like this. We all should have packed something warmer, but Corey
Sorry.
said it probably wasn't worth wasting the luggage space. Whatever. I bought another pair of long johns and socks at the station. The call for boarding came over the radio while I was writing this out. Next stop, Little Gold. January 13th, 2024. We're meeting up with fans randomly tonight at a bar near the station in Little Gold. They knew Big Guy Corey from TikTok and heard our episode, so they invited us out and have already called a tab. You know we're going off. Hell fuck yeah! Trains, 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 everybody! January 15th, 2024. We barely made it on board yesterday. Corey and I finally stopped throwing up around 11. Sorry, cleaning people. Apparently your 30s hit hard. In any case, Everything about this train is smaller than what was advertised. 10 cars total and about 30 people on board. My breath smells so bad of alcohol, I haven't tried speaking to others much. I've been trying to sleep things off in the cabin anyway. Since I'm awake right now, I'll write down what's on the train. According to the spec sheet, the train driver is at the head of the train. Behind that car is luggage vehicles. You can still access these as a passenger, but it was a pain in the ass and very cold. The fourth car down is the cafeteria. It's unmanned and serves microwavable meals and instant coffee, along with some cheap booze from the mini fridge. There are 3 passenger sleeper cars, 3 cars for fuel, with a driver car at the front and a lead one on the caboose to lead the trip back. The northern lights are the highlight of this trip. This is one of the few times you'll ever truly get to look into space. January 26, 2024. It's pretty, but it's empty, and I'm bored. There wasn't enough alcohol to last for all of the passengers on board, and everyone has been irritable since. We don't have a scheduled stop for another 20 days. My signal has been spotty too. February 5th. We're f***ed. Something happened. I don't know what. Not really. I was talking to Neria's husband, and the next thing I remember, I was being picked up by my shoulders and dragged out of the snow through a broken window. I laid on my back and tried to prop myself up on my elbows. In front of me lay the burning wreckage of the train. To my left and right, the cars were lead cars, nothing more than smoldering heaps of gnarled metal. I think I saw the luggage cars burning too. I laid down to write, but I have to get back to help out despite the pain. If anyone is listening, please give me strength. February 7th. I'm going to be able to walk on my own tomorrow, I think. I feel lucky, more than most. The first night we had 16 people survive, but now we have only 13. We've done our best to carry away and cover the dead with snow so they don't make emotions worse. Among us able-bodied are a Cuban doctor and 2 Norwegian cross-country skiers, neither of whom speak English fluently, 1 type 2 diabetic, and the others who have survived without injury who could help. February 8th. Being able-bodied, I helped scavenge the train debris. I found some fever reducers, bottled water, snacks, and other goods. February 9th. An avalanche came last night and tore away the evidence of our crash and our asylum. Our misfortunes have been swept into the valley so deep that we can't see the summit through the clouds. We've only found 9 buried in the snow so far. We'll keep digging through the night, but our fingers are raw. Most of me is starting to turn red and purple. I can't lose my fingers. That would be the end of me. It hurts to write, but I think I have to. I haven't been able to go to the bathroom in a couple days. I know there has to be some help coming, but none of us know what to do, and all of us are scared. Neria is talking about forming a group and looking down the tracks in order to follow them one direction, but none of us know where we are. Tonight we all take refuge in our passenger car, huddle together in mass, and are left with nothing more than hope.
Jesus Christ, dude. That was pretty dour.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No.
Yeah.
That's a pretty bad predicament.
Pretty horrific tale.
Feeling hopeless there.
Yeah, I think now you guys have seen what I don't share with you in my diary. Pretty dark stuff.
Wow.
Obviously very traumatic, and now we're out in the elements.
Yeah.
We are fighting for survival, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
going from a party train to completely destitute in the Canadian wilds.
Right.
Not knowing where we are, lost in snow.
Yeah.
Just huddling around.
The huddling in mass. I mean, all of us being from Southern California, we wear t-shirts during the wintertime. So
I can't even
cold.
imagine like the smell of it all. Not just like from the bodies, but like the smell of the burning wreckage. And
exactly.
Sure, yeah.
All that fuel being leaked or whatever, the fire, everything being charred. Yeah. I can imagine this is just,
I'm sure
all your senses are overloaded. Oh yeah. Everything
freaked out.
How loud it must have been, the train
survivors.
crash itself and an avalanche. I mean, all your sensors are probably just frazzled.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
This is a pretty hopeless situation.
It's pretty dire.
I'll probably make it worse.
Oh.
But if you guys are ready, we can get into this week's Would You Rather.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Would you rather try and take control of the group and make the hard choices required to survive where we are, or leave the crash site and follow the person who wants to find civilization via the tracks? All right. So probably pros and cons both ways.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, probably no prawns. No prawns.
No
shrimp.
Positive.
No craws.
None of them. But
Not in the
I
snow.
think more cons than pros either way. But hearing this and trying to like your immediate knee jerk reaction, Xavier, what do you think about this question?
I don't think I try to take control of the group, but I'd probably maybe try to leave the crash site and try to find civilization.
Oh, so you'd opt to leave
I'd opt to leave
initially.
Give whoever's heading out like some support.
Okay.
I'm not much of a leader myself, so I don't know how I would be able to make. Or a survivalist, so I think I would try to leave just to try to find help.
Right.
You would take the risk of like traveling along the tracks of either direction and hoping that you found civilization.
Hopefully, like what I'd like look at the train, like, hey, which direction is it facing? And then wonder, oh, maybe we go the opposite way. But what if it turned around?
Right. Exactly.
Right. We didn't have a scheduled stop for a while, and we know like from what we understand now, when we crashed, we have zero idea where we are.
Right. Exactly.
So that trek alone, even in healthy, circumstances and conditions, trying to hike 10 miles, 15 miles in now a blizzard.
Right.
Without the proper equipment, without like
the clothes that
shoes.
we were probably need for that scenario. Like we said, we were on this like not luxury train, but enough to where it's insulated, it's warm, we were safe, and now all of that is stripped away.
Yeah, I think at first we probably like need to collect our thoughts, like what's happening, like how can let's attend to the wounded and try to get everybody situated, and then come up with a plan.
Right,
and
try to really assess what the hell's going on, because we didn't really know what time this crash occurred either. Could have been just in the dark.
Yeah, that's what I assumed
darkness.
by the diary entries was like we were just asleep. It was sometime in the middle of the night. Like you said, like we had lost phone connection for a few days at least before the train crashed.
Right, right. So we're kind of out there in the middle of nowhere to begin with. No landmarks we would recognize. No way of telling which way is what.
Well, I was thinking too, like I have a pretty good natural compass, like just by gauging where the sun is in the sky. But I've never been that far north.
Yeah.
And like, I have no idea if my internal compass would even show me the right direction.
Right. And if we'd been clear-headed enough to really ascertain what's going on. Right. We got all jumbled around, or like we said, if we're in a valley or where we're at, we can't see the summit. So, I mean, we've probably all thrown off.
Yeah.
Just initially with where we're at, and then just a blanket of white. That's all we see.
But Xavier's taking the risk.
Yeah. Immediately it was like,
tracks.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm not staying.
Either way, I guess, like, either way, which tracks you go, you're gonna either go to your destination or where you came from.
Yeah,
but
if you make it,
yeah. if
we survive the cold, that bitter cold like that,
I think I'd probably take that risk, but after the fact of like getting secure, figuring out what's happening, and making sure everyone else is okay, and getting a plan together or group together or whatnot. But Corey, what would you do in that situation?
I've always been told like you stay where you are in order to survive. So if this were the case and it was only like the first week of this crash, I would probably stay there.
Yeah.
Try and save my energy and really try and figure out as a group, like what's going on, what should we do? Like, there's a lot to take into account. Plus, like you figure of the 3 survivors that are with you that we know about now, outside of the others, they don't even speak English. And like, that's going to be hard just to communicate with anyway. So spending as much time as you can in one place, trying to figure something out instead of on the go, that's where I would stick to.
Nice.
Especially like concerning like water. I think that would be like my biggest priority, water and trying to get food. And as long as you can make it portable, then that's like where I would go.
Yeah.
Right. And then also I think for your choice, Xavier, to leave,
mm-hmm.
I don't know how willing people would be to give you stuff if we're already been there a little bit of a week. We're trying to hoard everything we need. We're like,
oh yeah,
you guys don't know where you're going, how far it is, or if you're going to survive, and you want to take what limited resources we have.
Yeah, you're already.
I don't know if they're going to be too gung ho for that. But also, been like, well, that's an option for them to go. There's a chance. So maybe that plays into it where it's like they're trying to do something. So give them what we can, and then hopefully it works out. But this is also, we've been there a week, which would be longer than I would assume that we would be lost given today's time.
That's true, but
with
I
our
mean,
location
in
and all
northern
this
Canada,
stuff.
like if they didn't find us within a week, like GPS wasn't working.
That's true.
Somebody knows that we're out here, so assumedly, hopefully, help is coming, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, either one way or the other, they have to come down the train line to see like this train never made it.
Right.
Where are we going to find it in this vast area?
Yeah, this train it stopped communication to the train stopped. The train never made it to its destination. So some warning flags or warning things have been sounded off probably. I might imagine.
And I think that we could like just naturally assume that since our train got blown off the tracks, that help is delayed. If like it was enough for whatever happened to happen like this way, I think it's a way to rationalize why hasn't help got here. Well, it took our whole ass train off the tracks, whatever happened. So them trying to get there would obviously be halted a little bit.
I think like my big worry would be whether or not there's even evidence, because if an avalanche wiped our train off the tracks, there's nothing to say that the tracks are completely fine.
Right.
You know,
it's not like we just got tipped over.
Yeah. They would have had no idea where our train would have tipped over.
Exactly. Yeah. It goes down the crevasse.
And then we have a second avalanche that wipes away the evidence anyways. Like
they could have easily passed us if there wasn't like evidence of, the fire or the burning cars or something like that.
Right.
And the avalanche now covering all that, like you said. What's to say, like you would have to like needle in a haystack trying to spot something out in like a blanket of white, even passing by on a train slowly, you would have to try to find something.
And then we're talking too, like most trains are like a stainless steel on the outside. Passenger cars, they're shiny and silver. You're not going to see that in the snow, especially from a distance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So what about you? What are you going to do in this situation, Cale?
Oh, I'm like you. I'm staying put, but I'm taking control.
There you go.
Okay.
1,000% taking control of the group.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because I feel like right or wrong, I wouldn't try to make dumb choices off the bat, but I mean something to focus everybody on, something kind of everybody, you snap back to like some kind of form of normalcy with like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and like not an authority figure, but like
that's some order.
This is what we need to do. This is what I feel like is the best thing. This is what we should focus on.
Yeah.
So trying to give people a sense of normalcy or prioritize things, try to take control. Because if it's just chaos or everybody's split up and being like, oh, we'll do this. No, we need to like come together at this time and really try to, like you said, Xavier, assess everything, see what we can find, scavenge through everything, really, really make the case for how are we going to best survive this? Because help should be coming.
Right.
It's just how long can we make it
until the help
in this
arrives,
situation? Yeah. Exactly. Trying to not have any more casualties. We had all of these casualties initially, and then the avalanche again, and then even trying to find the bodies through there. We're expending a lot of energy. So trying to take control and kind of focus everybody on like what's the most important things, like getting out of the snow, getting out of the cold as much as possible, and collecting the water immediately.
And then too, like taking charge, like the thing about like a leader, whether elected or not, like there's something for somebody to look to. So like there's I think a trust in saying I'm going to step up and do the right things for the group because I think this is the right thing. There's going to be a level of trust that people have for you right out the gate.
I think so.
Like those decisions would really matter, and they would really, either give people hope or have them lose faith in what's going on, depending on your actions. Because that's a pretty big position to put yourself in.
Yeah, I think I'm up for it. But also, this also it's not an ideal situation. But if there's like a breakdown.
Oh, the train crash wasn't ideal?
No, that's not ideal.
Oh.
But being in this situation where I have to step up, it wouldn't be the best case scenario for me. But it also gives people either a common goal or a common enemy. If they feel like I'm making the wrong thing or doing the wrong choice, I can make other people band together.
Yeah.
I guess. Like, I'm not going to intentionally like mess with you to be like, see, I gave you guys a team building exercise. Common goal.
Common goals.
Fight
guys.
me.
Listen, you guys, stop complaining. Okay.
Yeah.
First and foremost, it's not helping.
First of all, who is that woman that just keeps screaming? Who is that lady? I've had just about enough.
Get her.
Ma'am.
Every time we get close to her, she starts going, ah! I'm done.
Ma'am,
You're done.
Your screaming's not helping, ma'am.
Can't hear it. Can't hear it. Don't want to hear it. But you know what you want to hear?
What's that?
These advertisements.
Ooh.
Oh.
Hi, folks. My name is Corey Andre, creator and host of the Weekly Tall Talk. I would like to say thank you for listening to today's episode. If you like what you've been hearing, we would love to know what you think. After the episode, don't forget to leave a comment or reach out to us on our socials, where you can find us at the Weekly Tall Talk. We're excited to say that we're working on a couple other awesome projects for this year. If you would like to know more about that or find out what else we're working on, we have a Patreon and Discord that you can subscribe to, where we can be found at Tall Tale Network. And if you have any other questions or ideas for what you'd like us to discuss on the show, please email us at talltalenetwork@gmail.com.
Thank you for listening to those ads. We hope you enjoy them. We have fun making them. We're going to get back into some diary entries now to advance the story and set up the next stage.
Oh,
Right on.
February 10th through the 25th. It's been 15 days since the accident. We have scavenged the wreckage for food and resources by checking the scattered dining carts and luggage. We savaged everything that could be edible and devoured it. The mountain ranges are vast, and we're stuck inside a canyon. There's a steep and rocky summit, and looking down, there's nothing but endless snowfall and rock. I'm not writing much now. I have to save energy. Nobody's come to save us. How haven't they found us yet? I have to think of a way out. So with that in mind, guys, we're going to move on to our next question. I'm sure you're very thrilled.
Oh.
yeah, I'm dying to hear it.
Oh, you're dying.
Oh,
All right. If this happens to you, what are the logical steps you'd follow to survive? So just off the gun, what knowledge have we collected that would keep us alive this long?
yeah.
If anything, Corey, I'm going to go with you first on this one.
All right. Boy Scout mentality kicks in. Hey,
There you
it finally came in handy.
Here we go, out here in the vastness of Canada.
Well, first I would look to my leader for permission.
Hell yeah.
To whether or not I can do if this happened to do, what would I do? Okay, so we've survival situation. We've kind of addressed that before. Maslow's hierarchy. We need food, water, shelter.
Right.
Not in that order. Water, food, then shelter.
Yeah.
So we kind of had that. I mean, we're inside of the train. So at least we have shelter covered, but being completely out of food 2 weeks in, like it's starting to look destitute, right? Like there's no help that's come, like you said.
Yeah, that would weigh on you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're running out of your little pretzel snacks that you found.
God damn it.
And any microwavable meals that were like barely cooked to begin with. Now you're eating frozen.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're trying your best to scrape anything and everything.
Really? Yeah.
through anything you could find. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, as the group leaders, Cale and I had initially said we need to ration our food because we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that would be number one. If I found somebody stuffing their face,
Yeah.
I'll be stuffing my fist in your face.
Eat this.
Here,
Just like-
knuckles sandwich.
Just found someone like huddled over.
Yeah,
just-
seriously, just like hoarding all the stuff. Oh, mutiny immediately.
Yeah.
String them.
Hey,
Get
buddy,
'em.
you ever try eating teeth?
Here, try them. They're crunchy.
But I mean, yeah, that would all of those steps I'd have to take in order, and then like a shelter, because like we said, we're gonna stay in place, and even though it's been 2 weeks, we gotta hope that help is coming
Yeah.
because trains
yeah.
are on tracks.
Yeah, there is a search area. It can't fly away from the train tracks.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
It's
Yeah, there's
within
a
reason you would still have hope at this point. 2
Right.
weeks is a long time, but you would still have hope of being like, they gotta frickin' get here eventually. We're not off the map.
Yeah, and you got to
Yeah.
think too, like the worst of the situation is over because the crash happened. Like everybody who was going to die is probably dead.
Yeah, by 2 weeks, depending on your injuries. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a long time to try to survive with.
Either bleeding out or some
Right.
type of infection or something like that. Or you said there was a diabetic on board, so
Mhm.
they're probably
insulin. Yeah.
not around anymore. RIP.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, I guess really just trying to huddle and shelter and taking all of the clothes that we found in the luggage to make the shelter livable, or
Right.
at least like some type of windproof. Because the way I picture it is like the train car that we're in has like, it's not intact. It's
Oh, yeah,
twisted
I imagine.
wreckage, and like there's
Yeah.
all the windows are blown out, and there's like gaps for the wind and wind chill to get in.
Yeah.
So if you could cover that and make sure that your body is not touching the metal floor. As long as there's something between you and it, then it would increase your survivability.
Yeah,
Right.
at least you're getting some insulation
Yeah.
between you and the cold.
And then the body, like stacking up bodies
bodies,
next to each other, trying to
get the
keep
body
warm.
Right. And, we alluded to this early, but didn't say it specifically, but avalanche coming in, wiping away all things. We've probably dug out a way to get into one of the train cars, but that might be just under ice. So it's just as cold inside as outside, because that insulation works both ways. If you're encapsulated in snow and then more snow is coming in, more blizzard, the only entry point in there would be probably one. So we wouldn't, maybe to the point you're bringing up, maybe the broken windows, like that hard packed all the snow over it. So we're not really getting the wind would be clear there, but it would be extremely cold.
Yes.
Inside. We wouldn't have the wind on us, but just literally being in a freezer.
Yeah.
Well, even thinking like the wind chill factor affecting the outside of the train car would make everything incredibly cold.
Right.
But I was thinking, like, I don't know necessarily how to build an igloo, but maybe that would
potential.
be, trying to like dig under the snow, which I mean, your hands are fucked.
Oh, dude.
Right. Like that.
First things first. I mean, none of us had anything that would be, I mean, I wouldn't have thought to bring gloves.
No. So you'd have to
our
use like
hands
the
are just
metal
raw.
part, right? Like pieces of the train to dig out.
To try to dig it out, right? Any kind of scrap metal, anything like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
make it like an
it's just not
improvised
good.
shovel.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's that. I think that's where my line of thinking. What about you, Xavier? Where do you think you'd go with this?
Yeah, I like that because try to make a shelter, try to beef up the shelter as best you can with supplies that you can find,
Right.
scavenge, and try to build up where you are now and try to make it somewhat livable, somewhat so you can survive even longer.
Yeah.
That insulating with clothes, trying to cut out wind chill. I would do all the same stuff, or at least help try to do the same things with people in that situation that are trying to survive. First, get everybody kind of situated and set up, assess what's happening, get your shelter built or somewhat stable. Try to cut out wind chill and things like that. Yeah.
Right. Just get out of the elements as best you can.
As best you can.
Yeah. In this situation, I mean, we're just in a valley. I mean, underneath us is just a steep slope going down, steeper going up to the summit. We're kind of in no man's land. Legit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
trying to get out of the elements in any way is good. And even in this case, probably the smaller the space, the better, to try to keep body heat. If we have a whole train car, then we're trying to like huddle together. But if it was like you said, twisted, kind of broken up from the actual crash, if it's like half a train car, even the third, the body warmth would go a lot further with just a smaller area for us to like pack into. So
sure.
Yeah, but then you think like you're living on top of other people, right? Like trying to even go to the bathroom if you can, since like at this point we would be constipated.
Constipated, and we don't have anything in our body.
Like we'd just be wrecked.
Feeling terrible.
But like you'd still have to go outside of the cabin car to go to the bathroom. So like you'd be, we got like 15 people left alive or however many.
Right.
And those people have to use the bathroom throughout the day. So every time like they're opening up the shelter to go outside.
Every time we just give them a dirty look.
Mhm.
Again.
Hold it. Don't
Hold
be
it for a little
dick.
bit. None of us have gone to the bathroom this whole time.
Stop.
Hold it a second.
Out the door.
Close that damn door.
Oh, look who's flexing on us.
Another bowel movement for you, Xavier. Congratulations.
What about you, Cale? You on the same line of thinking, man?
Yeah, I'm on the same thing. We can go a long time without food. We probably have like another week. We could have gone without food. Typically 21 to 28 days, something like that. So water, number one.
Mm-hmm.
But we'd be able to melt the ice, do things like that. I mean, we have an endless supply of water. We're not going to go thirsty that way.
Yeah, at least it's clean drinking water. That's
Exactly.
our one saving grace.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we can stay hydrated, which would be like the number one thing. And I don't know what altitude we're at over there, but I know higher altitude, the more dehydrated you get easily.
Right. You burn
So,
calories faster.
exactly.
And you
So
become dehydrated faster.
With that, we would have to definitely drink more. I mean, that would be about like our number one thing is kind of taken care of. So food after that. And we've gone over this. Both of you brought this up, the shelter. So, I mean, in that hierarchy, I think those things matter. Keeping track of, obviously trying to be respectful and have the bodies off to the side and keep track of everybody, for rescue efforts or closure for a family or this or that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But-
yeah.
Do you think that in part of this process, because I'm thinking like there's still probably bodies of other people who perished. Would it be like even in your mind to like bury the dead or be respectful of like try and put them somewhere, or would it just be like, well, the snow's covering them, so that's good enough?
I would. This is dark humor, shocking for the show.
Oh yeah,
But I would hate to just be there. We bury him out of respect, but then we forget where we bury him.
we'd
no
have to make some
markers.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
We'd have to-
I
So you would
put
bury
them?
him then? You'd go through the lengths of
very
like,
shallow, very shallow. I mean, like right
Yeah.
next to us, not like, oh, let's carry him over there or do
Right.
anything. Just
Okay.
out of respect and just out of like morale,
Yeah.
probably.
yeah.
I don't think it would. That's a dark thing to say. I was like, I don't think it would bother me having bodies around me. I don't think it would, but
No.
like, I would definitely like want them, just be respectful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the number one thing, right?
I think that's because that's like you said before, like you're save the bodies for when rescue comes. That way
Right.
they can go home and
Yeah.
be buried at home.
exactly.
Keeping them close by, not like in close proximity, but close enough, and where you remember where you put them, and then
Yeah.
at
As
least
odd
some
as that
sort
sounds.
of like
Yeah.
grave
seriously.
markers so you don't lose them in the
Right.
snow.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point to bring up, Xavier. There's a lot of reverence that goes into that, and burying the bodies would be a human thing to do.
Yeah,
And I think that would be really important.
yeah,
Yeah, and I
Just-
think, like I mentioned, morale earlier, it's like for everybody. But if your loved ones are on the train, that shock factor of every time you look over, you see their body right there,
yeah.
versus like
Yeah,
having that very thin veil of just a little bit of ice and snow
Yeah.
over them,
right.
just to be like,
We know they're there, but they're not. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's not this punch
not
in the gut
always
every
in
time you
sight.
step outside.
Yeah.
You know, maybe just out of just sheer trying to get through it, have them buried a little bit. Yeah. Enough, Xavier. It's time for another diary entry.
Is it going to get better? Are we found?
Oh yeah,
Oh, good.
I'm sure the
Sweet.
right
Hey,
over the
we can
thing.
end the show here.
Yeah.
Don't look at the time code.
February 26th through the 30th. All our food is gone. The only thing you have is fresh water and ice melt. We should have rationed better. Felipe, our doctor, didn't wake up this morning. He was frozen solid.
Well, we're fucked.
Yeah.
the
Our doctor is dead.
now. The doctor is out. There it is. We've been in sync
He's
lately. I
out.
like that.
It's Mr. Freeze.
Mr. You know what killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice
Age. Mr. Freeze. That's Dr. Freeze.
And that's the
Yes,
marker
Dr.
Xavier
Freeze.
would have over Felipe's very special grave.
Mr.
All to himself
Freeze.
is Mr. Freeze.
Good guy.
Dr. Freeze.
Well,
Well-
that's definitely not good. I mean, we're in bad shape,
Yeah.
but at least I think at this point our injuries are not substantial enough to kill us if
Yeah.
we've survived as long as we have.
Yeah. Now it's really just about surviving.
So now without the doctor, sounds silly to say, but this is not as grave as if he died on day one or in the crash to try to assist. I'm assuming he helped enough to help some of us survive
Mm-hmm.
injuries
Yeah.
or infections or at least telling us what to do. Maybe, I mean, I would definitely be paying attention and being like, if he was doing things,
Well,
to-
he'd be speaking Spanish. So,
but he could
whatever.
show me. I'm a visual learner.
oh, okay. Yeah. That'll
Just
get
show
you
me.
through.
Like
Yeah.
this, like this.
That was good.
That was a really good bone crack effect.
yeah.
Hey,
Sounds good.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I think at the language barrier.
Oh, yeah.
At the one point, at some point, there'd be just like signing, like pointing at things, trying to
Right,
figure stuff
right.
out, and
Mhm.
that basic
Basic communication at
way.
that point, right?
Well, I also think like if your doctor died like what almost a month into this, that would be the loss of the morale.
Oh,
Oh,
for sure. This would be
sure,
this
yeah.
would be the nail in the coffin, I think, for in terms of our spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Months gone.
Out of food completely.
where the hell?
So
is
we're
the
down.
help?
And now the doctor is dead.
Mm.
And this whole time we're hoping every day that salvation comes in form of the search party that has
Yeah.
still not gotten to us.
Yeah.
So at this point, are we forgotten? Did they even notice a whole ass train didn't make it to the station? Was the guy texting? I don't know.
I don't know.
So, I mean, this is, I think, bottom of the barrel hope wise
Yeah.
for us. So at this point, would you guys consider cannibalism?
Oh.
That that's just,
Go back for the bodies.
that's as hard as it goes. But I mean, at this point, we're done. We're done with food. There's nothing else. There's nothing you can find to eat. There's nothing. It's just water. We're hydrated.
yeah.
but there's zero food. Xavier, does this
does it appeal
even-
to you? You talk about it a lot. So
off air?
are you
So,
gonna practice
ready?
what you preach?
You gonna walk the walk, big man?
Oof, yeah.
Oh yeah, nice, Corey.
Okay, done. Skipping over. He said, "Yeah, you heard
He
the
said,
answer.
yeah, you heard it here
folks.
first. You know when
Yeah.
it's safe, he'll eat you.
If I'm hungry, I'm gonna start nibbling on you.
Give me them toes.
In this situation, like if food's gone and people are starving at you're gonna reach that starvation point, and honestly, I don't think I'd want to eat people.
Okay,
I mean,
surprising.
I'd want to maybe cook them.
Oh, so you'd eat them
So
if
you'd
they were
be-
cooked.
Yeah, I don't.
So
I
you'd be
don't
the
eat-
chef.
Interesting. How
Yeah.
would you do that though? Like you're
right. How would we do that if there's no way to cook anything there? Like I don't know. So at that point, it's like, do you? Well, going to the hunger thing, like at some point, is it going to be a drive? Like you need to eat something. Like your
Mhm.
body.
Oh yeah,
or
your body will let you know.
that
We're
like,
dying.
Survival
We're dying.
instinct is like, do something now, or you're just going to waste away. I mean, if you don't eat, your body just consumes itself.
Yeah.
So.
And you figure this diary entry puts us about 3 to 4 weeks after the crash incident, and at least a week or 2 weeks after all of our food is ran out.
Right. So
So
We've been
this
starving
is it.
slowly,
This is the turning point.
and then it's been
This is
2
the-
weeks
yeah.
since our food ran out, and we have nothing.
Yeah, because then now, if you don't eat anything, then death's coming right quick.
Oh
Um,
yeah. So
you wouldn't. I
Maybe
mean, you
very
wouldn't even have
expeditiously.
like the energy potentially to make it out of the crash if you just stopped eating.
Yeah, so I think, if my will to live was strong there, and I wanted to survive, and I wanted to make sure, or just hoping to get home and hoping that help's coming, probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
But would the cooked part still be your stipulation?
Oh yeah, at
I mean,
that
we'd have
point, I
to find
guess
a way.
No, there probably wouldn't. There would be no stipulation. I don't think it's just like, hey man, you got to do what you got to do, or else unless you somehow
Or
can
else.
make a fire.
right. I mean, you would have to try to figure a way.
Yeah.
But if we had done that, I wonder. You're saying if we could build a fire, if we did have the means for that, we would have done that weeks ago and probably
Right.
potentially burned everything that we
Assumedly.
could have done already.
Yeah.
Maybe make some smoke signals or something.
Right. Try to do something, or at least just try to huddle together for
Oh,
warmth.
warmth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Yeah.
basic warmth, because I would be thinking there's no freaking way these guys aren't coming for us to save us. So
Right.
let's stay warm. Nobody lose any
Yeah.
fingers or toes or anything. Let's just
Yeah.
try to do this and burn everything in that first thing, because you're not imagining days and then now weeks and now a month almost
Mhm.
without people showing up. Today's situation, today's timeline,
Yeah.
that's just not realistic,
No, not at all.
or not something that you would find believable. Oh yeah, we're not going to be out there for at least 4 weeks, 5 weeks. What? How?
Yeah.
So I mean, but the human body's will to live is the most innately strong feeling you will ever have.
Yeah.
I think any creature's
Oh,
will
yeah.
to live.
Exactly. Yeah. That's just part of anatomy.
Yeah. I think it's just
Your
part-
brain makes
part-
you want to live, makes you want to survive. You're having
Survival
survival
instinct.
things. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we'd die a lot easier.
right. Yeah. It's our programming.
And for me to answer the question, I think that I would probably turn to cannibalism like fairly quickly. I don't find anything morally wrong with cannibalism. Just full stop. I really don't.
Right.
Unless you murder somebody to eat their
Yeah,
corpse.
murder.
Like,
If
that's
it's-
it. Murder's
yeah.
it's another crime.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But
So
cannibalism, like, is it fucked up and weird? Yeah, absolutely. Like,
Yeah, it's very
in any
taboo,
sense. But
very-
like, if we put ourselves in this situation where we have to survive, I'm not dying because I refuse to eat somebody who's been dead for 2 weeks.
There you go.
absolutely.
Like, it's meat. Like, I gotta consume to survive.
Right.
Yeah,
So
just-
I think I would probably be one of the people in the group, probably pushing a little bit early, to like a couple days after our food ran out. Like, hey, we got a food source like right outside.
Right.
All we got to do is get it,
Mhm.
and we put a little marker over it so we know where it is.
Mhm.
This all harbors back to, like you were saying, your innate survival instincts. It's
Yeah.
like, if I have a chance to live, I'm going to take it. Outside of murder, I mean, I would do the murder to get back. But outside of that, like, speaking realistically, like, anthropophagy is eating human flesh without like committing the murder.
Hmm.
So, I mean, doing that, I have no problem with it. But like you said, that's your will to live. If I have an option to do something that would like sustain me, I will 1,000% do it.
Yeah, you really have to wonder about the people who had more of, I guess, religious hangups
Right.
about it, because like there's religions that don't allow that. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
like there's
body is
the real
sacred.
event, like Catholicism allows you to consume flesh in order to survive. So like I don't know, like I would be worried about people who had a very high, what am I trying to say? Somebody who's like really religious.
Yeah, being part of the group and that would be an obstacle for sure.
How would they be an obstacle?
They would be the ones like opposing this.
I would
Oh,
assume
trying to
so.
split the
Yeah,
group.
and that's that's my projection, is like I would assume that a somebody who's more religious would be worried about cannibalism because of their afterlife or whatever.
Exactly. That would be a choice. I think it's everybody would have to, as the leader of this group. I don't think it's a thing that's up for debate. It's either participate or don't. The rest of us are going to live.
At that point, it's like
you can do what you want if you're of sound mind.
Yeah.
And even if you're not, I mean, we can't really force you to live.
That's true.
So-
As long as nobody's trying to prevent you from doing it,
That's-
and
you did it
there's
my
no
way.
schism there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If they're like, no, this isn't going to happen, I won't allow it. Well, I'm going to break your neck.
Like,
And then we got some
One more meat. Xavier, I got a fresh one here.
this one's still warm.
Still warm, Xavier. No heat needed. Yeah. I don't know why I start doing the macho man.
Yeah, I think as long as that like individual or whatever, yeah, it's like don't try to throw a wrench in the in someone else trying to survive. Or
Right.
whatnot.
It's our. I would feel. I don't know. I just wouldn't give up.
Yeah.
Just from a moral compass.
Would you guys want to, like, how quickly would you turn to cannibalism? Like the foods run out like within the first week? Are you waiting 2 weeks? Are you waiting until somebody dies of starvation to be like, well, fuck, all right?
That's a good question, dude.
Yeah, I want to hear your answer, Xavier. Then I can see how badly I'll get judged. So you go first.
I would wait, just to see maybe how long I can last without doing it.
Okay.
So just pushing my body to the limit, and once I hit that limit, it's like, all right, now I either die or survive.
Right.
I think that's what I would do. Just wait as long as I could physically. And
Right.
then-
Until you're at the breaking point.
I'm the opposite. I would start, because like I know my body would start wasting like immediately.
Really
and
fast.
Yeah. So like if you need it when you're already in a dire situation, it's
might be too
probably
late.
not going to be.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. That's what I would
too late
assume.
at that
Yeah.
point, right?
No, I'm thinking about this as rationally as I can think about it. I think once our food is out that day, I'm saying, guys, like hopefully help comes soon, but this is what's going to have to happen. And if 2 more days pass, 3 more days pass, we're going to need to start considering this.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Yeah.
Like you said, the amount of deterioration in days worth of not having food once everything's already out and we're now weeks past that. Like you said, deterioration of that to even have the strength for any of us to get up. That's like relying on other people to keep their strength. But if everyone's starving, there's nobody who's going to be that like, there's going to be somebody who's most able-bodied out of the group. It's just physiologically, I guess, or anatomy, whoever's
whoever's in the
held up
best
the
shape
best
and-
in
yeah.
this. But I would definitely bring it up like right off the bat. I'd be like, this is going to happen at some
Yeah.
stage. If they do not come, this
Bring
is going to
awareness
happen.
to it.
So this is the reality of it.
Yeah.
And, we're going to have to get it done.
Yeah, that's probably along the lines what I'd be thinking too. Like,
Right. Like
Food's
at least
out.
suggest it or mentally prepare them and be like, this is the last thing I want to freaking do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're not going to die out here. And
Right.
I'm not going to let that be something that's off limits.
Would you guys worried about, like, if we survived this incident, would you be worried about the judgment from civilization? Because like your name would be known. You would be like out in the world. People would
How'd
be
you
like,
guys
oh, that's the
survive?
fucking guy.
oh, I ate that dude over there.
Yeah.
Sorry,
like,
I ate your mom.
would that be like, would that be on your mind, like,
Oh,
for the rest of your life?
No, I would have.
for me, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for you?
Okay.
Oh, it would?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have no qualms about it.
Hmm.
I'd be like, I wanted to live. I wanted to be with my friends. I wanted to be with my family. I wanted to get back to my wife. I will do anything and everything. I would have no qualms about it. I would not have remorse. I would not have anything. I would feel remorse for the people who lost their lives for just this freak accident.
Yeah.
But I would be remorseful for the families of the other people and be like, I know this is the hardest
ones
news
that
you could
lost,
probably
yeah.
ever get, and having this, but like, I'm going to live my life. It's not in vain.
Right.
Right. So I'd play up that part of it, but I would have no qualms about it. If somebody has something to say to me, I'll bite you.
Don't bite your fucking nose off.
I'll bite the shit out of you.
Bite you.
At least people
down. Get out.
Well, we would get, not, I wouldn't say persecuted, but like definitely people would have a lot to say, but
Yeah.
I think that would bounce off me. I'd be like, I'm fucking alive.
Exactly.
Alive. No, we survived.
I did what I
That's
need
it.
to, right?
Yeah, exactly. I did what
Yeah.
I needed to do.
There's
You
always
don't
gonna
know.
be- there's always going to be flack and stuff that will come from, it's just, that's just the nature of people.
What would you rather do? What would you rather? That I died?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Should I have
That's
died
the
up there?
alternative.
okay?
That's what you want to
Like,
know.
you'd
The
rather
Netflix
be-
movie's going to be better because I didn't survive.
Yeah.
No,
well,
but
well, arguably.
no, definitely. And I think this is very much a situation where, especially in your case, Xavier, where you're saying, oh, you would haunt me. You would have the ultimate rebuttal to anything. Go fucking starve for a month in a blizzard and have no food for a month, and then come tell me what you're willing to do.
I mean, I definitely would never forget it, because that was quite a traumatic event there. And
Until you're in the situation, you cannot judge us for the extreme level of survival. I mean, it would be a horrific thing to have to do, but we're gonna live. I mean, it would suck for you to survive this whole traumatic thing up till that point and just be like, I'm done now.
Yeah, it's natural for humans to live. Like, that's it's in our DNA. We want to survive and live on. So it's trying to survive.
Yeah. Well, you know what else is trying to survive? This ad revenue.
Damn, pay it.
Hey there, this is Corey from the Weekly Tall Talk podcast. If you like what you've been hearing, please consider going to patreon.com/TallTaleNetwork and becoming one of our patrons. We'd really appreciate it, and you'd help us get out some content later this year. Thanks.
We hope you guys enjoyed those ads. We enjoy making them, so we're going to keep them coming. If you guys are ready to continue on this just terrible outing, I think we'll get on with it. Are you ready?
I guess so. This is
a very somber one.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time.
Let's see if we survive, I guess.
I mean, it's all come down to this last segment. So, all right, let's get back into my fun diary.
Mm-hmm.
March 1st through the 13th. The bodies we were able to consume are down to the scraps and the things no one could convince themselves to eat. All right, Bras. If your final choice was to leave this situation and no one opts to join you, would you still leave and brave the elements, or continue to stay and hope for rescue? Is this the breaking point to where you try to get out? Or is this like, I'm going to die here, this is the best case scenario, still having that logic from before? Or are you just like, enough is enough? We've done the ultimate to survive. It's time to go. I'd rather die trying than stay here. What are we feeling as an answer, Corey?
I mean, at this point, it's already been over a month since the accident. This has been, I think, 34 days or something like that.
Right.
God, I think I would go. I mean, if it's been over a month and there's been no signs, like we haven't even seen, assumedly, like airplanes flying above.
Right.
We haven't heard trains passing on any tracks that we could have gone to. Like I think I would have to. Like if my, God willing, if my strength was good enough,
Right.
I would take some scraps and try and make what's it called? Like a water bladder, something that allows water to be portable.
Right.
And I think I would just trek on and really hope for the best. I don't know if I would try and convince anyone to join me though.
Right.
I'd go with you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
good.
Well, hey,
Well,
I didn't
this-
even need to convince him.
No,
He's
you
just tired of eating people.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But if the two of you were to, let's say I'm not in this scenario, and
Yeah.
the two of you were wanting to leave,
Mhm.
and the group's like begging you not to leave, like morale wise, they don't believe that you'll make it. They're like, don't leave us,
Right.
this and that. Does that hold any bearing? Or are you guys like, you fucking suck?
Well, Xavier, what do you think? We've decided to leave, so we're of a similar mind.
Yeah, I think
So does that play a part
Mm,
at all? Or are you just like, no, I
No.
got to give it a shot. I
Yeah,
can't stay
that's-
here not one more freaking second.
yeah, that's my thought on that. Is I don't need to. I don't want to stay here anymore. I want to just try to find help. Since help doesn't seem to be coming, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
try
after-
to find it.
What'd you say? 34 days?
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that. It's been over.
I
30
feel
days.
like I would. Yeah, I'm not counting on that anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have counted that after 2 weeks, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would take off with Corey.
Oh, yeah.
and just try our best. I mean, it's like you're facing death either way.
Yeah.
And then better, like you said, Cale, better to have tried than not tried at all.
Yeah, because
Right.
the other alternative is just staying there and starving to death. Like
Exactly.
we've already gone down to the scraps, which means if we're disassembling human bodies, there's no meat and only marrow.
Yeah,
Like there's nothing but bone and
Right.
So
cartilage.
there's nothing else for us.
Right.
Yeah. It's at that point, it's just either we just sit there and die and freeze, or we try to make an attempt to get help.
Yeah.
And if we do, we do great. If not, well, we've died anyways trying to get help.
Yeah. I think that would be like the last hurrah, right?
Yeah.
Right.
just-
I think so. And assuming that, we've had some sustenance from doing this, you guys are probably the most able-bodied to try to get help. So I'm saying I'm doing this for us.
Right.
yeah. Trying to help.
You're kind of taking their lives in your hands also by being, we're still able-bodied, we're still able to help, but like we have the best shot of going and coming back to you.
Yeah.
There's no other way. I can't do anything for you anymore.
Well, I
Now.
wonder too, like, would you even try to break it down logically? If you have 15 other people saying, don't leave, like just stay here, help is coming.
No.
And you're like, listen, this, and this are the reasons I'm leaving. Or would you just say, okay, you guys stay here, I'm going to go. And if I find help, good luck. Like I'll
Yeah,
try and
I mean-
send someone back.
Yeah, I mean, this comes back down to that innate sense of wanting to survive. I know we're going to die if I stay here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is a stronger pull than anything that someone could say to me.
And yeah,
There's nothing that you could say or do or harp on to me that would make me say, okay, I'm ready to give up.
yeah. I try to
No,
like
it's not going to help.
give them the reasons. Like, all right, this is what I.
What do you have, a PowerPoint? What do you mean?
No, I just
You have a
tell-
pamphlet?
It's in the diary. He wrote it down.
You haven't a,
No, he
you have
took
a diary
your diary.
too. Oh, it took my
Yeah,
diary.
just to write everything in there.
Just tear
That'd
it
be
out.
freaky, dude. You come back and look for the diary. It's in 2 different handwritings, back and forth, each
Oh.
page.
I like it.
Like,
Double
crazy
Crazy
out here.
person.
Yeah, great.
This person lost it way before the trip.
He didn't even need to start eating the bodies.
Just ate this paper. Start eating my diary.
Damn. So a group dynamic doesn't. For my answer, no, a group wouldn't weigh on that decision. At that point, I'd say, F y'all. I'm going. So all
Yeah,
right.
basically.
Yeah,
It's not like
I'm going
anybody
to
has
help.
the
That's
physical strength to stop us.
Yeah.
Everybody's starving at that point. You really want to waste your energy like restraining somebody?
Yeah. Exactly.
You've killed us all. They
So
stop
what
us.
would you like? In order to prepare for that, I've been thinking like, we could probably make skis out of the wreckage. I don't
Right.
know how you'd bind your foot to them, but like you'd have to make a snowshoe or something to get out, like an
Yeah.
apparatus. So I'm wondering
Right.
if like you'd lug like a 3x5 piece of train metal or something,
Right.
so you can slide down the hill, maybe
That's what
get
I'm
you
thinking.
places faster.
Oh, true.
Because trying to trek through that would be hard.
The least amount of energy expended possible is how we should go.
Exactly. But then like you come into the risks of like not being able to stop. So you'd have to, I think like I would try and like work out how a sled works over a day or two and then trek out with that, because like rocks, boulders, cliffs, all of those things that you can't see in the snow and
Right.
you're already out there. Like the thing that we haven't talked about is snow blindness.
Oh yeah.
You can't just be out in the snow because your eyes will get sunburns inside your retinas and then you
You're
won't
just
be able to
blind.
see.
Yeah. You get
Yeah, and
blind.
I'm thinking of this. If we were to pack for a trip like we realistically go to Canada and do these things, I would not thought to have brought sunglasses.
No.
I don't think I would be like, oh, I need to grab those, blah, blah, blah. If I happen to put them in my bag, and that's if we could have even found them.
Well, and to further that too, I mean, considering Cale and I have sight problems,
Right.
like if my glasses did not survive or if Cale didn't have his contacts, that's it. Where are we going to go?
Yeah, that's a big handicap.
Yeah.
In this situation, especially with everything being white. I mean, it would just feel like we're blind. at
Yeah.
that
And, or
point.
even
I mean,
like knowing like which direction to go, like, cause it just gets blurry.
yeah, and there's
You're like,
no
I don't know if
markers.
there's civilization that way or that way.
Exactly. And we
Yeah.
say we go, the three of us take off. We're doing this. We hunker down for the night. We could get lost if we don't find
Turned
the train
around.
tracks. We
Yeah.
literally could get turned around very easily, and we just end up making it back to the train
It's
instead of like going the right way. We just get turned around. I without
could
landmarks or
very-
knowing enough. I mean, I think within like 30 days, if we were able to see like some peaks, we would probably get familiar with things. But like, in all honesty, like I said, our internal compasses, if those get turned around, being like that far up or where we're at, we could very easily just get lost.
Yeah.
I think the best case scenario is like we stay together enough to where like we don't lose each other. That would be like worst case scenario, losing one of us. You don't know what
yeah.
happened. Then do we leave where we're at?
But you
Do we go over there?
can't really hike as a group because
Right.
we'd all have different energy levels and abilities
Right.
in the snow. But that's the other thing too. Like Xavier, if you're the most stable bodied and you're walking ahead, if you get too far, Cale and I don't know where you've gone.
True. Yeah. And then if I
So,
turn
like-
around, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
where
like,
the
where the hell
But
are
the
they?
other thing is you wait for us and we walk as a group. That's expending more energy so we can keep the same pace.
Right.
I would assume.
Right. We would have to try to
As a
do something.
scientist.
I think we probably would have burned or used something, but I would imagine trying to tether ourselves
That'd be
to a
interesting.
point of where like you have all this slack of whatever we tore ripped up into strips.
Yeah, like,
So it's like-
cable wire from the cars.
Exactly, like something to where it's thin.
Yeah.
So whenever you're walking ahead enough, and you feel that tug, you know that we've stopped or something
Yeah,
like that.
something
We could
like
try
that.
to. We could probably realistically like work this out. In terms of like having just the scrap stuff be okay. Well, now I know I need to hold up, and then you feel the tension on the wire or this or that. Like we could
Right.
stay together because it would be. We've talked about this. We brought it up a couple times in the show, but like this is continually having like blizzards, wind whipping,
Yeah.
snow blindness.
Mhm.
So visibility is always bad. So that would be like very necessary because we could get lost really fast, or one of us passes out.
Or it becomes nighttime and you can't see anything.
Nighttime, we can't find each other, we can't do anything, and we have to huddle together for warmth
Yeah.
to try to even survive.
And also consider like the farther that we get into civilization, or at least down the mountain, that's where wildlife lives. Now we got to worry about any fucking predator that lives in northern Canada.
We could get just a pack. of
Or I mean,
wolves
shit,
or
even
anything.
moose are dangerous as
Moose
hell.
are territorial,
That's
so
true,
we get just
yeah.
tuned up by a
Oh,
moose.
dude, just be fucking destroyed by their antlers. Nobody would ever know.
Nope.
Just all of us stomped out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we
it's
tried.
treacherous. It's,
But we
it's
tried.
True. At least there was something.
Mhm.
But yeah, doing that, and I mean, yeah, none of us have enough clothing that we would have brought to survive that kind of stuff.
Well, you reckon like if we were looking through the luggage, we would just pile on whatever.
Yeah,
Even if
exactly.
it didn't fit, like I'd put like the smallest shirt on first. and then
Exactly.
go bigger
Well,
and
we would
bigger.
have to
Yes.
layer
Yeah.
everything, especially if the people have passed.
Mhm.
Doing that and say, we need the best case. I wonder this harboring back to our first part of like them not wanting you to leave.
Yeah.
What if if they refuse to give you the extra clothes? So you guys are the ones leaving. We need this so we can stay warm.
So what are they going to do? Fight 3 people?
They
Fuck
might.
that.
On the blind rage, I can't see anything. I'm just swinging wild on everybody.
It's just
You
don't
guys get
worry.
too close, it's like it's over, and I'm just turn on you. No, but that could play a part. But like you said, I don't think most people are equipped for violence
No, well, especially in that situation.
Yeah,
right?
it's just like, I don't.
It's not a movie. Nobody wants to harm any
Right.
other person.
Exactly, because
No.
I'm just gonna be straight up honest. Like if that's the case and they're trying to hold stuff, I said I don't want to hurt you, man, but I will.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't want to be put in this situation, but this has to happen.
And
I'm sorry.
too, like you'd have to imagine, like, okay, you know what? They want to keep the clothes. What the fuck ever. There's other things that were part of the train that I can wear,
Right.
like
True.
any seat coverings that they had. You can strip all the plastic off,
Yeah.
and it's not great, but fuck, it's something.
I think
Yeah.
we would have been pretty adept at like stripping stuff down all the way.
Yeah,
after
you'd imagine.
34 days, 36 days, however long it's been.
Yeah,
We would have gone through everything and found anything that was within the vicinity. We would have found already.
yeah. So while I don't think that our chance of survival is great in either situation, I agree with you, man. I think that I would just try and make the trek and just have a death march.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like-
in agreement there.
Like you said, it'd be better to die trying than to
Yeah.
stay
Try
there and
dying.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to try dying. I want to die trying. So now that we've established that all three of us are going on this death march, or what is probably going to be the death march,
Yeah.
are we trying to scale the summit, get a better viewpoint of where we're at, see if we can see anything? Are we trying strictly just to find the tracks? Or are we just heading down? We're already in this canyon, in this kind of valley area. Are we just heading towards the bottom of that? Try to see where things settle to where we can get to flat ground. What do you think gives us the best chance of survivability? Because I mean, we go up the mountain, that's full expenditure of our calories,
Yep.
our food.
Mm.
But we get height advantage.
Exactly. We would be able to see, you'd be able to kind of like plan your route, but at the expenditure of all of that. So who knows what toll that takes.
Right.
But also scouring for the tracks, you would have to imagine that you would find them, but I don't know how hard that is. And we have no
Well, we would have to assume that an avalanche knocked us down. So we would have to go up.
go up and then try to attempt to see how much avalanche fall happen. And there's snow constantly with the blizzards. How far would we even have to go down before we would even realize where the tracks are? So you're spending all that energy trying to dig out hard compacted snow.
Right.
Mm.
Like you said earlier, we can make a shovel with the metal from the train. So like maybe digging down wouldn't be that hard, but that's again, needle in a haystack. And how much do we want to risk that versus like, let's just go straight down and see what happens when we get to the bottom. Like,
I think
what's
my
your
choice
thought
would
process?
be. I think my choice would be to go down.
Right.
I would really try and hope the sled idea works, and then just keep going down and down and down as fast and as far as possible.
Mm.
If that means like scaling a cliff so I can get more height down or more speed downwards, then fine, let's do that.
Right.
But like we said, we're kind of like in the middle of a canyon, so we can't really go anywhere unless we're trying to scale snow, ice, and rock. And I do not think that up would be the best way. So that would be my choice if we're a group of 3 going out there. I say we go down.
Right.
Cale, what do you think?
I think so too, because I think we're asking for disaster going up. It would be good to have the vantage point, but one of us falls during that fall.
Mhm.
We not only have to come down to wherever you end up, hopefully you survive, but then we have to go down to try to help you tend to the wounds. We don't have the doctor anymore. If you break your legs, we have to leave, or we have to try to get you back to the train and then go from there. So I think even if we fall and we fall down, at least there's no energy expenditure to go back up or we can get easier to you. I think coming down the mountain than like having you fall from going up.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think I'd also go down. It would just be, we have no idea where we are. We're going to try to stretch these rations as much as possible. Let's expend the least amount of energy while covering the most ground, which would be logically going down.
Yeah.
I'd be in agreement with that too.
Okay.
Just try to, I'd do the same thing that you guys would do. Just stick with the group. Don't go uphill.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Spend less energy going downhill. And plus that's, hopefully we'll find maybe civilization going down a mountain.
Right.
Maybe, or maybe like a town or something.
Or even like we brought up animals and stuff. Like it's not just predators out there. There's a chance that we could find an animal, or there's a chance that we could find trees that we could use for firewood or something, like a fuel source.
Yeah.
Because I would not eat raw animal. That would be that would fuck you up worse than anything else.
Right. Yeah. But you know that if the animals are living in that area, it's viable for us to
There's some life.
survive.
Maybe
Yeah.
there's
berries or some
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
roots we could eat or
yeah.
But then
something.
again, I mean, you eat the wrong berry, then
yeah,
you're
then we're fucked.
Yeah.
Then you're
I mean,
sick.
but seeing animals or seeing something like that would give me a rejuvenation of
some
okay,
hope.
there's
Yeah.
life here. We're in an area where there's
Yeah.
life. They have to have access to water too. They have to have a food source. Blah blah blah. That would just empower me more to keep going.
That's
Versus
good,
like
yeah.
let's try to kill an animal. I'm not wasting my time doing that. I'm going.
Yeah, I just want to keep tracking.
Yeah, let's just keep tracking on, man, as fast as we could go, because we could be in 3 very different states at that point, even day by day. You know, we're eating the same amount of food, but it's hitting me harder than it's hitting you guys, and all of a sudden, you know, carrying my frame around is worse for me. So I'm the slowest one, or this or that. You know, we would really have to see what happens.
I mean, all of our disabilities would really come into play, like at that point. Like Xavier and I, smokers.
Right.
Cale, non-smoker,
Right.
tall. Cale and I are much shorter. We're both asthmatic. So
Right.
like Cale, you would be kind of dependent, but again, like you would not have contacts at this point,
Yeah,
just at all.
They would just either be frozen to my eyes.
I also was thinking about that. Like,
I was kind of
cold.
nervous about like being in the cold like that. Like I would be nervous for them to like get frozen in my eye or something like that. Like
Yeah.
I would probably wait however long I could until like I have to take them out, and then from then
that's
on, it's just me kind of stumbling around, especially in like white snowstorm. Like
Yep.
even when we get to rocks, like it would be very hard to get level footing or do this or scale anything. It would be very hard,
You'd have to be guided.
right?
Yeah.
Or like one of us would have to scout ahead or go however many feet ahead to be like, oh, is this safe?
Is it
like,
safe?
yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing? You know,
That'd probably be me. Yeah, I guess scouting
right? You would be
ahead.
you would be the eyes.
Oh God. And then you'd have to worry too about like secondary or tertiary avalanches. If you're a little too loud, the sound reverberates
Yeah.
off the canyon side.
Xavier's like,
shouting,
I think we should go this way. What?
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
So, Cale, what do you think, man? We're running a little low. The time code's getting closer to the end. Did we survive?
Well, no, I'm just
Fair
joking.
enough.
We have another entry in this diary, and I'm assuming it's probably good news. So let's get into it.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
Cool.
April 11th. This is probably the best birthday I've ever had. It feels good to be alive. It feels good to write again in my new journal. Recovery has been slow, but I'm patient. Corey, Xavier, and I chose to hike and try to find anybody to help. It took several days, but miraculously, we found some of the tracks and followed them. I don't know how many miles we walked, but it was a march towards death or salvation. Luckily, we found the latter when we came across a man who had been living off the land. He had no idea something had even happened. He had a running truck, and after we warmed up in his cabin, we ate some food and hitched a ride into town. After we got to the hospital, the whole staff knew who we were and couldn't believe that we had survived. While we retold our story, they made the proper calls to find and evacuate everyone safely. Apparently, the blizzards in the area had been so unrelenting, the search and rescue was ended only after a week, since the conditions were deemed too dangerous. If we never left, we wouldn't have survived. We lived.
Back. We lived.
We live.
Oh, this is a happy
wow.
ending.
Yeah.
No,
we
we
made
just-
it to the hospital first. Good for us.
Yeah. Oh, did we send back help? I forgot.
Oh yeah, they made the calls. I mean, it was out of our hands. There's like, is there anybody still up there? I don't know.
Listen, we did the tough part of making it there. They can figure out the rest.
Yeah, why don't you
That's
guys
true.
go check?
Yeah, why don't you
Yeah.
send
I'm not
another
going back
train,
up there.
Dick?
Yeah, come on.
Exactly. Well, I mean, this kind of explains it, but also at the same time, shame on Canada for being so lax with the rescue area.
Can't trust Canada for anything.
You can't,
No.
except for them to apologize, which I'm sure they did.
They probably profusely apologized to us.
Sorry, guys. I know it was a week.
Yeah.
You had to
Sorry,
eat
we didn't
people.
find you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Just a
yeah, that
big
makes it
plaque
better.
That says sorry.
Sorry. Now, how are you guys going to afford the plane ticket home?
Dude, could you imagine if Canada made us pay the medical
they
bills?
They just deport us.
If it was America, they would.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
There's no slack. But up there, I'm hoping that after
we
this
would have to
traumatic,
start a GoFundMe for our
yeah, for us to
cannibalism
like
bills.
die. We did unspeapeable things
Oh,
to
wow.
live. So if you can donate a couple bucks, we'd appreciate you. We're
Yeah.
trying
Go
to
to
get back
Tall Tale
home.
Network at Gmail. No.
exactly.
Patreon.com/Tall Tale Network.
Well, that's quite the harrowing story. I mean, I hope
Yeah.
none of us have to ever experience survival
Oh, I hope
situations.
God, no.
I mean, it is all easy to say this in the warm, safe recording area.
Yeah.
But I hope none of us have to be put to the test like this. So
Yeah, or anybody.
stay off the train.
Don't take a train. Don't take a plane. Don't take an automobile.
Just walk everywhere.
Yeah.
Walk.
In fact, don't even do that. Stay inside. Don't go anywhere. Listen to this podcast.
Stay inside. Listen to us. We'll do it for you.
We'll do all the walking, driving, and all for you.
We'll do everything. Just stay put. Stay here. Survive. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. As always, we very much appreciate it and very much love you. This was a harrowing story. Thank you to Big Guy Corey for inspiring this episode. I hope you stay off the trains and stay inside. But for now, I'm just going to kick it off to our socials where you can find us. You can find me on TikTok at bearded_giant. Also, our communal page on TikTok is the Weekly Tall Talk. We're posting some videos up there and some clips from the show in this new season. We're very excited for everything that's happening. And I also have an Instagram at TallTaleCale with an underscore in between each word and C instead of a K for Cale. That's where you can find me and give me my props for surviving. Xavier, where can they find you, brother?
If you guys have any answers to the questions that we asked in today's episode, feel free to send us an email at thetalltalenetwork@gmail.com and let us know what you guys would do in this situation.
I'm just assuming like survival experts are like they did everything
Yeah,
wrong.
you guys
Yeah,
did
everything
let, us,
wrong.
let us know how we
Yeah.
fucking
how
died.
badly we did it or how ass backwards things were. They're like, no, never go down, go up.
Right,
up,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, we'd be curious to just hear what your thoughts would be in this kind of a scenario. But and we also have a Patreon, so if you feel like supporting us in that way, we'd love to have you guys join as a member. Our Patreon's at patreon.com/Tall Network. Corey, where can our folks find you?
Well, if you want to find me online, you can find me on Instagram at Corey.Andre. We take a lot of time to write these short stories out for you, so we really hope that you appreciated it. Like Xavier said, if you have any thoughts, you can also hit us up on our business Instagram at The Weekly Tall Talk. We try to answer any questions that we get there, and we would love to know your thoughts on what we did here today. So, without further ado, folks, we'll tell you later.